Please maybe say something about our collaboration with Silesian University.
Yeah, first I'm very happy to be here. It's on my side to be pleased by this visit and to get this famous gold badge of merit. I'm very happy about it. Yeah, our collaboration started, as you know, some 30 years, more than 30 years ago. Yeah. With you, I think exactly 30 years ago. Yes. But before we had some contact to the late Professor Pawlikowski, who started this collaboration in principle when he came to Münster for 1 year. And then I saw him and I recognized that it's a very intelligent, very great scientist and a very lovable person. He was the only remark in passing, the only person in my feast connected with my habilitation, my private feast. Only family members and Professor Pawlikowski, so I was very happy to. And our collaboration started some 30 years ago, and I think we have benefited both from this, especially I have benefited from this collaboration, and I would like to maintain it in the future.
Thank you very much for such nice work. And, really, we also it is our nearly the best collaboration with the West, and I think it is our first collaboration with West scientists.
I see.
Okay, I have another question. You see now, you wrote several, I think, I don't know exactly, slightly 20 books for students, and
12.
Many of them are really bestseller in the world, famous in the world. Mm-hmm. Can you say how did you do that? For me, it's difficult. Maybe you can simply say this book. Maybe
yeah, that is
80 such different books.
Yeah, I have written several books, but it started, I have to admit, at a time which was not so nice for me. I was looking for a permanent job as a professor. And you know, in Germany, you need a call from another university. And several times I was on the second place. That's a great honor, but completely without any consequence. And in that time, I started to write books. I gave my first lectures, and the students couldn't read my handwritten version on the table, and so they asked me to give written lecture notes to them, and that I did. And these lecture notes came to a very small company. And they then asked me, can you write some books, a book for us? And then I say, okay, you can take my lecture notes and I will write something in between so that it's really a book. And so started this, and then I had a contract. In this contract I had to I have to write several books. And all the time we were thinking about what is several. More or equal than 2. No? So and then it started, and in the first time it was, as usual for such textbooks, only 100 copies per year were sold. And suddenly the teachers recognized it, and then they recommended the books in the lecture, and that's the important point. And then they started, and it was it became a very, very nice development of this series of books on theoretical physics. And now I'm very happy that I've done it. But before it was a lot of work. And this book, which you brought with you, is the first translation to English of one of these the books in this series. And let's wait how is it on the American market.
I know very well that it is a bestseller. I think it is third edition at the moment, yes?
No, I have some books. This is a new one because it's English. But in the German, it's the only translation from the German. And the German book is now in the 8th edition. And one of the books I already, one of theoretical mechanics is in the 10th edition in the meantime. Yes. So it runs quite well, and I'm quite proud of it.
Yes, congratulations, because it's really an extremely good result.
But it's written in German, and so I would like to translate it, but the companies are a bit cautious because translators The already professionals are very, very expensive, and so the companies thinking, is it worthwhile to do it or not? I hope they will do once with one copy they have started. So, but this is your book.
Thank you very much. Yes, we like that book very much, and it's really worth bestseller. And we are using. If you look for the top of the book, you see that it was used. Wolfgang, fine. That we are speaking in completely freely at the moment. Can you say something about our country, because you have seen several sides of our country? So, so what is the future, or what the future in science?
Yeah, of course I do not know the details here, but I recognized the evolution over the time. My first contact was in 1980, something like this. And then I think my first visit was in Krakow, but 1 year later I was here. And it was a completely different impression than today. Yes. So everything has really turned to the better. That's completely clear. Maybe not fast enough, or not quick enough, but that it really turned to the better. That concerns the normal life as well as the scientific life, and we saw it from our collaboration. And I think in the beginning it was a good event for you to come to our country, because in order to do research, but now it's the opposite way, is as fertile for the participants as the other way around. Yeah. So in the last years, I'm more often here than you or other colleagues from the department in Germany.
Yes, it is really true. And Wolfgang, can you say something about students? Because you know, in physics it is not a very popular study.
Yeah, that's quite true. In Germany we are doing a lot in order to attract already the pupils from the schools.
From schools?
Yeah. We have, and yesterday I learned that you have also here a children university or something.
Yes, exactly.
That is, I think, in the same direction. You have really to make clear that the science is a very exciting thing, natural science, especially physics, especially, but it's considered as being very complicated. It's not so. I think it's not so easy as maybe some other disciplines. And so, for instance, you cannot study physics without being excellent in mathematics at school. And this is, of course, only a small part of the pupils. That's the main reason. I spent some years in Spain, as you know. And that is completely different, because I think 50-50 male and female students.
Oh.
Yes, that's quite astonishing. But they are going then to schools and something else, but they are not doing research further on after the study. So, okay, I was again also 50 years or even 20 years ago I was in Spain, so the situation has surely changed also drastically. But I think we have really to attract the students. I was the president of the Physical Society at Berlin, and they had a lot of ceremonies awarding some people, and the greatest one, or the biggest ceremony, is with pupils, where they get some books as prizes when they have done a good job in physics, and several of them are attracted to the study of physics by this event.
I see.
Yeah, they told me.
Several means better than nothing.
Yeah. And, but we have to really to work on it, that it's that physics becomes more popular. It's important, I think, the same as in Germany.
We are following in a very similar way.
Yeah.
And can you say something about the physics, state of the physics in the 21st century, in the beginning? Has any future, or what do you think?
Yeah, no, I'm not the right person to speak about the future of physics, because my career is more or less at the end. No, it has changed drastically. I cannot say only from physics.
Yes.
You know, 20 years ago, We created models, we solved analytically models, find tendencies in physics, not exact results, but more qualitative results. But I think we learned a bit more about the physics, what is within this problem. Now we have big computers. We had to do it with the Hewlett Packard with fingers, and so we couldn't do real calculation. Now you have computers, you can do the real calculation, you can do quantitative calculation. I think that's the trend, that this model evaluation and model study is a little bit over. We do it ab initio, as they call. In spite of the fact I have some problems with ab initio, is it really ab initio? And of course, you can calculate practically all. And now, solid state physics, of course, and now you know the trend is nano physics, and I think that will be the trend for the next 10 to 20 years in our special part of physics. I cannot speak about this velocity higher than that of the light.
Very popular topics and questions. Fine. Yes, the nanophysics and the nanomaterials, new materials.
Right.
It is probably the main direction.
Right.
Quantum computers.
But in Germany we need money for research. Sure. The third-party funds is the main point, and it's very hard to get money without nano in between of your application.
Fine. And what do you think about the connection between physics and, let's say, practical science, practical life?
Yeah, I can.
It is necessary, or we should never?
No, it depends a bit on the special field. Solid state physics, I think, must have something to do with practical life, and it has to do, you know. Without solid state physics, many things in our daily life wouldn't be so as they are now. But there are other things, elementary physics, high energy physics, do not see the direct relationship to daily life, except for the fact that it costs a lot of money. This physics
kind of arts.
Yeah. No, I think we have a very close relationship to daily life, even the responsibility to work in our field, not only for ourselves or for some nice ideas, but really to help the people by our research. And I think at least in this relatively small part of solid state physics, it's really the case. It takes the Nobel Prize of Peter Grünberg and Albert Fert. Yes. Everybody use it.
Yes. And maybe it will be the last question, because Wolfgang, what do you think? Because we have a Europe, common Europe. It's a very big organism, and I think maybe we will have also something like common European physics and common projects, much more than we have at the moment.
Yeah, but we have it already. These are the European networks which are there, and I think it's also a clear challenge to the people which are working in physics, this to extend the European collaboration. I think to sit in a small village and make your physics and without any contact to the surrounding will not help you. And we have really now not only European, maybe worldwide, these connections, and we have to share the money, because research is very costly, expensive, and so we have really to organize it in order not to make all the things twice, or manifold here and that kind of that kind of always the same. Maybe it's the collaboration will a necessity for the future, truly. And it's a good thing that we have this European political community with all the dangers, but it is there, and it just helps the science too, and the scientific research.
Yes. Wolfgang, would you like to say some words to young young adepts of physics?
Oh, yeah, I can only say, maybe we have the young physicists, I can only say that it is worthwhile to study physics. Physics is a very exciting challenge. Really a very exciting field. It's very competitive. You must really be engaged in physics, and I think physics is even a pillar of our social life, because everything is a little bit connected with the new knowledge in physics. And I can only say, try to do it if you have some feeling for physics. If you learn it at school, of course. If you have nothing to do with, or no idea about physics, and you have no attraction by physics, then of course it's not reasonable to study physics. But I think even in a very practical way, it's worthwhile to study physics, because in Germany at least it is so that our students really get jobs when they are going out. Maybe not always in real physics. They are going to banks and to insurance companies and this McKinsey and something like this. But I do not know from any student of mine who didn't get a job. Maybe he or she had to wait, let's say 2 or 3 months, because just in the moment there was nothing. But I think it's a good perspective. But it's not the only reason to study physics.
I think I will thank at the moment. Thank you very much for
the
nice word. Thank you.